Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is CryptoVatsik. Nothing of what you're about to see is considered financial advice and they're just my opinions. If you do enjoy this content, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel for future updates and don't forget to give this video a like. Let's get started. Okay, today I'm going to cover Monero XMR and we're on the daily currently. This coin dates back to 2014, so it's an OG one, but I wanted to cover it today because I thought the chart looked really interesting. So currently what we're going to do is we're going to mark out high time frame levels. Okay, the first level here being right around $100. Okay, obviously we found support for quite some time in the previous bear market here before we dropped down to our actual bottom. We swept it again here as resistance. We swept it a couple more times, and then ultimately once it was flipped into support, that's when it led to our next bull cycle, to our all-time highs. And then now we've only established one low down here, which is our current macro low that we've tested that area so far just once. My second level is right around $65, just in case the first level does not hold. I'm looking at this area very carefully. There's lots of interaction with consolidating areas as resistance as support. And then once we consolidated bullishly right here, that led to this nice push up. And then again, you can see just pinched in basically this range right between these two levels. As support right here, and then that led to the next breakout over here. Okay, so that's what I'm watching in this zone as well, in case this zone gets lost. Okay. And the main reason I wanted to cover this one today was because the comparison between the last bear market and currently the bear market that we're seeing right now. So you can see a lot of altcoins right now look like this, right? Basically V reversed down and then ultimately right back down. And I think we're probably somewhere around here currently on a lot of different altcoins. But you can notice in the current bear market right now with Monero is that we're showing signs of relative strength. Okay, so you can just see this overall downward trend. Yeah, we're making new lows, but every single time we make a new low, we got a huge pump down to the upper band of the range, right? New low, huge pump to the upper band of the range, new low to the EQ of the range, somewhere around in there, okay? And then a new low and huge pump, right? So we're showing relative signs of strength. So the market's still interested. There's lots of demand down in these zones. For this coin versus the last bear market was pretty much just complete distribution capitulation down to our bottom, right? So let's just look currently more what we're seeing on the bear market that we're seeing right now, okay? So first things first, we got this range that we're still trading inside of. Okay, with the EQ here, lots of interaction in these areas as support or resistance. Okay, currently acting as resistance on this overall downward trend. So if we get some sort of bear market rally across the market, obviously theoretically here, you get a flip of this level, targeting somewhere up here for myself, up to the upper band of the range again. In order for that to happen, there's another piece of criteria that I would need to see, and that's a flip of this key SR level right here. Okay, so you can see this dates all the way back to 2021, February, March area. Okay, key area of support that we had multiple times established until it was flipped to resistance, then flipped back into support. Okay, and then again, ultimately, huge deviation here, but ultimately resistance again, and then currently just resistance, right? So that's a major SR level that I would need to be flipped in order for this to happen. So, you could see possibly come up some more chop consolidation underneath it, and then there's your breakout kind of thing like that. So you just got to play it as you see it. But currently we are still in this equilibrium as resistance. So there's nothing, for me to enter along just at this point. Currently, it does look like it is testing that resistance, okay, at the EQ right here. We've got multiple attempts to try and break it, okay, 1, 2, 3, a bit of a wick there, 3 or 4 at least times trying to break it currently, but without prevail. Currently, we do have a market structure break as well, right here. Okay, so from this trend, okay, deviation here, this trend, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, market structure break, lower low, it's broken that bullish structure of these higher lows, okay? So the last time we saw that was over here, essentially this guy right here, right? We had higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, market structure break, okay? And then we had basically this consolidation, bearish consolidation, but ultimately we came back down and we tested this zone back down here, okay? Basically this high time frame order block, probably on the weekly actually, we're on the daily right now, came back down, retested that area. So for me, personally right now, if we are looking for longs, I'd be looking, one sec. I just cleaned up the chart a little bit. So I'd be looking to retest this truncation down here. Okay, so we had a bit of a truncated bottom down here with this low. Did make a print a higher low ultimately in here, but I'd be looking for basically a sweep of these lows. Okay, so basically sweep of that low, sweep of this low, and then a retest of that area. Just like we had basically, we came all the way up here. Once we got the market structure break, we came back down, retested that breakout level down here. Okay, the market structure break. So this market structure break right here, right? So higher low, retest of the breakout, that's where I'd be looking to get long. If this does start to just continue pushing right now where we are, so if this starts to push right now, if as we press this equilibrium, okay, if we start to push right here and start to consolidate a bit more around this equilibrium area, okay, then I'd be looking to get in on a sweep of this low, okay. So basically, your best entry possible to sweep that low. That's what I'd be looking for to get in, because then you can put your stop loss below that low. And again, target's the same as I mentioned earlier. You'll be anticipating a break this EQ. You'd be targeting that key SR level up here around $178 and change, and then ultimately possibly the upper band of this downward descending range for the third attempt. 1, 2, kind of 3 on the daily here attempt at breaking that, but I would expect probably a failed attempt and then come back down to that SR level at that point. Currently biases to the downside unless we get proven otherwise. We have this massive wick right here. Okay, we came up into supply, we swept this high with this high here. Okay, we filled in a little bit more of this wick. So this is a perfect supply rejection, right? We just came right back into resistance. And your time to short was right in this area ultimately if you were looking for it. So, like I said, however, I'm looking for a retest of this area down here, and then maybe even just target up here, sweep the supply up here at this level, just continuous lower highs, lower highs. You get a short-term trade from down here, down to up there, 14, 15% kind of thing, trade potential. Another way you could look at it is this way too. So let me just clean it up again. Okay, cleaned up a bit more here. So the other way you could look at it too is just basically we made another higher low right at this point. So again, this is a new trend, okay, but we've got basically a triangle forming here, okay, so you're anticipating more chop within this triangle for a breakout either to the upside or breakout to the downside, right? So clear invalidation below this low, if you can get down, like I said, down in this bullish order block or break in market structure right here, with that low. So, sweep of that, I'd be looking for longs, stop loss below this low down here. And then obviously, break of this trend, and then obviously it's invalidated. And at that point, I probably wouldn't even consider this low. I'd probably expect us to probably be dropping further down to this lower green zone down here, unless this low does hold. But time will have to tell. I do like this SR level that it is currently really trying to hold on that dotted line right there. Okay, so we found it a support a couple times over here. Massive wick to the downside, was able to candle close right on the line. Okay, some interaction here, but really just trying to fight to hold this line, right? So if we can start to establish something like this, where, like I said, if we do start to consolidate, hovering underneath the upper band of this triangle here, okay, it is a descending triangle, which typically is a bullish pattern, but if we can consolidate some more near the upper band, then I'd be anticipating a breakout, and then we'd start talking about, like I said, in the range, sweeping these highs up here as targets. But it's just for now, I'm hesitant to say to believe that this SR will hold, just given market strength across the board. But relative strength on Monero is nice to see right now, and that's why I wanted to cover this one, just because it is has pressure to the upside still. Let's just quickly drill down to the 4-hour. So like I've said, we've lost that market structure. And I don't count these wicks. These are just deviations. I don't know what's going on there. Okay. But you can just go from the candle closes. Okay. We had this nice channel moving up. We broke that market structure to the downside. We are currently retesting the 200 EMA here as resistance. So wouldn't be surprised for another tap of this low. But again, ultimately looking further down here in the green zone. So my bias is to the downside. This rounding top right here, don't love that. We already swept this high. Okay, so basically, if we reclaim the moving averages here, okay, if we reclaim those and we reclaim this trend, then possibly it's a deviation, right? It's quite a large deviation, but even if it's a deviation or not, whatever you think, we've reclaimed this overall trend, right? So if we can reclaim that, then we start putting a lot more pressure to the upside to take out this high. It's pretty simple actually. It's just SR levels here, right? So we lost this SR level right here. Whoops, sorry. Okay, lost this SR level right now, fighting to regain it. So maybe it's more chop, right? But we've come back down to this support, right? Support level right here. Okay, so from this high, okay, is now support, but this one's acting as resistance currently. So personally, I'd probably want to wait for the Monday open to see what happens, rather than just playing in the weekend chop. I don't like trading on weekends. I like to wait for the Monday open, and then usually there's a big move on the Tuesday, kind of the vice versa, right? So would be basically looking for a sweep of these lows, and ultimately, like I said, just looking to get long down in the green zone for now. Depending on where you're trading, this is on Kraken. I really don't like these wicks. These are stop hunts. Okay, so if you're shorting, if people are shorting in here, kind of thing, these are stop hunts, right? So they're coming up, they're just taking out your stop losses. You could easily get a wick to the downside too. So just be careful if you're trading on Kraken. I'm sure that it's probably looks a little different on Binance or something like that. But just watch out for those wicks. I don't love them. And the way to avoid that is waiting for these candle closes, right? So basically, wait for the full move to come to completion. Look for the candle closes, and really don't try and trade these wicks. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Go back to the weekly here and just take a look. So yeah, not too much different on the weekly. Still just really respecting this 200 EMA as resistance. Still trying to hold this level, okay, as your SR level support right now, currently above it. So if you're a higher time frame trader, maybe you wait for a reclaim of the 200 EMA kind of thing, and then you target these highs. Yeah, this one's a little bit high right now, but at least be targeting this previous high right here. If on the basis of a reclaim of the 200 EMA and a breakout of this downward sloping trend. That area that I am looking at getting long down here in green, okay, does line up nicely with the overall high time frame weekly bullish order block. Okay, the last red candle here invalidated by the up candle. Okay, we've already had a retest of that bullish order block. So potentially another retest coming down. If we do start to pinch still further into this triangle, maybe one more attempt, following this upward trend here, might be a good opportunity to get long with your risk being below this low. Whether you like Monero or not, it is an OG coin, dinosaur coin, whatever you want to call it. There's clearly still opportunities in the market if you start to hunt for those triggers, hunt for those opportunities. There's still money to be made, just depending on what the chart looks like. And this chart doesn't look half bad in my opinion. So thanks a lot for joining, guys. I hope you really appreciated this video, and I really appreciate the engagement, the likes, and the comments. Let me know what you think in the comments, and please, please, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel for future updates. Yeah, thanks again. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.